Being willing to come back with another video live. This is going to be clarification purposes. If you didn't get a chance to check me out last night, go ahead and check that live out last night. What's up now? Today I'm just going to go into specifics about land ownership. There's some discrepancies, and I think a lot of people are misinformed. I'm going to clarify some things tonight. Don't forget to pay yourself first, regardless. Okay? Like I say, family, thank you for joining me in the garden. Tonight, like I said, I want to talk about real rights in reference to surface rights and mineral rights. Daughter of the Most High that was in the garden last night. She sent me some questions, and I want to answer some of those questions that she had. And any other guys out there have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. KY, what it do? We're going to get into it real quick, family. I ain't going to be on here long, but I definitely wanted to come back with some specificity when it comes to land ownership because, like I say, a lot of information not transparent as you may want it. Hobby, what it do? Hobby asks why do successful people or driven people wake up early? Because I know with people that has a lot of goals or people that are motivated intrinsically, they only sleep enough to rest. And that's basically what rest is. That's basically what sleep is, enough to rest. But they also understand that a lot of times they getting their rest. They're not up all night. All right. Really successful people, they go to bed early. You know, the ones that can appreciate their success. Now, those that are burning the midnight oil and you're working and you're working and you're working and you're not receiving any joy from that work, that's not a good thing. Okay, but I know a lot of people that are successful, a lot of people that are driven, wake up early. All right, family. Yesterday, I got into land ownership. And I wanted to let you know that if you do own land and you're a property owner, like I said, the Daughter of the Most High wanted me to get into this information tonight. And the question was, how do you find out if you own them, if you are the owner of the mineral rights of the land? How do you know that if you are a landowner? How do you find that information? Well, I did a little research, family, and the way you can find out if you're a property landowner, if you actually own the mineral rights as well, is to look at your property's warranty deed. Okay, so when you purchase that land, okay, you're not paying a mortgage, so you should receive the title and also a property warranty deed. And on that warranty deed, it gives you some information. Let's see here, it talks about the warranty deed and how if you do own the mineral rights, it should be there in their warranty deed. If it's not in the warranty deed, if you don't know if you own the mineral rights, then you have to contact the courthouse. I know in Texas, mineral rights can be owned privately and federally. But if you know anything about land ownership in the United States, you know that the United States owns 78% of all the land in America. And that other 22% is owned by major corporations that are really, really wealthy. All right. So in actuality, private ownership of land is somewhat of a misnomer because if you don't know if you own the mineral rights, then basically, I know here in Texas, a person that can buy land, if he don't know that he's only buying the surface rights, then that mineral rights on his land or her land can be sold to someone else and them not even know it. Okay. Hey, Jasmine. Yeah, this is an unexpected live film. You know, I'm normally gonna be going during the weekday from 7:30 to 8, Monday through Friday. Tonight I want to go tonight because I wanted to answer a question about a daughter of the Most High when she asked me about how do you obtain information about mineral rights. Because like I said, a lot of people don't even know anything about that type of land ownership, whether it's surface rights or mineral rights. You're not just owning land, it's more to it than that. And so in order to find out if you actually own the mineral rights to that land, you have to check your property warranty deed, all right? And you have to contact the courthouse of records because they have years and years of records of those that actually own that land. And the, not just land, the surface rights and the mineral rights of that land, all right? So it is a process. I mean, if you're not familiar with the paperwork, then I would get somebody to check that paperwork out for you. Yeah, and if it's not in the paperwork, then you don't own the mineral rights. You need to find out because it says it has, like KY says, right there in the warranty deed under the Schedule A, Schedule B, it says best and look for a reference. It said, if it says surface rights only on your warranty deed, then that tells you that you only own the surface rights of that land, and the mineral rights were owned actually by the previous owner who could have sold it somewhere else, or actually the previous owner still owned the mineral rights to the property that you actually just purchased, okay? So if it has surface rights only on your warranty deed, then you don't own the mineral rights of your land. And in different states have different statutes and legalities that come to land ownership. So you check into that as well. There you go. See, nephew, he just see it shows you that on the warranty deed whether or not you own it or not. So remember, not just surface rights and mineral rights are land ownership, not just surface rights. Okay. And so I just want to come back with a quick information on that, family. I didn't really have too much to say. Like I say, I wanted to come back and address that question. Anybody else have any questions out there before I get out of here? Remember, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like, share the videos, hit the notification button as well so you know when another live is coming. Like I say, I will be going live on weekdays now, Monday through Friday. And make sure you look into what's going on. I was just checking out some information about the economy and the yield curve. When we talked about the 2-year, 5-year, 10-year Treasury bonds, the 10-year Treasury bond right now, family, is like 1.55. The 2-year is like 1.48. So you're only getting not only like 0.5% on a 10-year opposed to a 2-year. So what is that saying? Of all the indications of a recession, that's one of the main ones. So like we talked about before, they have to have something happen to have this recession occur. It's been too long. But like I tell you, I'm really excited because it's just going to be a great opportunity. And with these different corporations sending their companies overseas, which, they don't talk about that anymore. But there are still a lot of U.S. corporations, family, that are taking their companies overseas. Now, not because the United States owned them. Remember, the United States went bankrupt. So a lot of these corporations, GE, GMC, Ford, all these companies, a lot of them are predominantly owned by foreigners. And so when you hear about these companies going overseas, it shouldn't surprise you because they want to go give their country the work so we can be the consumers. Remember, the number one mindset of capitalism and for it to work in such a large nation like this is to have a majority of the people be consumers and not saved. Hey, what's up, Deborah? Okay. So we're looking at between, I'm not Nostradamus family, but I'm looking between 10 to 24 months. Well, like I say, KYPM, remember, the third leading cause of death in America is from hospital visits and hospital malpractices and from hospital misdeeds. So it does stand to reason that the hospital districts, healthcare district, and the pharmaceutical companies are all together. It's one big conglomerate. Because how can you, with a good conscience, go to sleep at night knowing that you're charging, individuals thousands of dollars for medication that you pretty much caused the disease? Remember, family, when over 130 people have pre-diabetic conditions, pre-diabetic conditions. Now, when your doctor tells you that, what do you automatically go do? Go try to find out what you can do to not have diabetes. And what do? Get you on medication. And diabetic medication is one of the most, exploited drugs out there. Okay? Yeah, no doubt, Jasmine. I mean, it's been a money-making scheme. That's why they look so beautiful on the outside. Have you ever noticed that, family? When you go to a hospital and they look so pristine and so beautiful, but people are dying in there every day, all right? And no one is saying anything about it. And then, of course, when you have to make a choice between your medications and food, come on, man. So United States, we do not produce anything. We do not manufacture anything. Like I told you in my last live, 70% of this country is rural, agricultural, right? Then why do we not produce our own food? And why aren't the farmers feeding us? Because remember, these diseases and all these high-profile medical conditions, they didn't precipitate like this, family, until all of a sudden Monsanto and GMO. You have to be a pretty cognitively dissonant nation to accept the fact that you are being fed genetically modified organisms and ain't nobody out in the streets. We have to be cognitively dissonant to still go to these restaurants when we know that they're feeding us food that's not even real food. I mean, why not look at shows or documentaries called What the Health, so you can get an idea of how they actually processing this food, okay? So, it's unfortunate, family, that we live in such a state, but like I say, this state of mind is a matrix, and the only way you can actually be able to come out of it, and it's kind of difficult for cats like myself, because when you're empathic and you feel the energies of everybody, good and bad, it's just an unfortunate feeling to know that there are people out here that have no problem killing you and have no problem watching you die and watching you be in unfortunate situations like this recession that's about to happen. There are going to be trillions and trillions of dollars lost by American people, family, with these 401ks and 457s and pension plans. Billions of dollars going to be lost, all right? And unfortunately, cats that are in the garden and people that are economically and geopolitically conscious, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. But, pay it forward, make sure that you're looking out for other people. Hey, it's like I say, Jay, it's cognitive dissonance. I mean, you have to wonder how on a Saturday or on a Sunday, IHOP is packed. So this isn't something that's this is a complete brainwashing of not only those that are adults, but those that from kids all the way up. It starts with social media, and social media could be a great thing, but when it's used for purposes of spreading this type of misinformation, it can be bad for the nation. Typo. Yeah, no doubt. And I say, when you're empathic, you do this stuff, for the love and for the hopes of people, not the numbers of people, okay, but the hopes of people, because you're never going to reach everybody, and you're never going to actually put yourself in a situation where those are going to be accepted and be and reciprocate this information to a lot of people, okay. And like I said, the main thing for my garden is to make sure that, one, I educate your family on financial education, paying yourself first. They want to make it way more difficult than it is. It's just a current racial situation. How much of your energy are you possessing that's going to bring money in, all right? And how much are you throwing out? You remember, your wealth is your health. So if you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to expend this energy necessary because there's no such thing as money, family. Remember, if you get out the mindset of money being something real and understand that it's just a currency, and what's currency? You know, it's flows. And so as long as you stand with that flow, you can be pretty financially successful. It's just understanding the flow. Right now, we're in an over budget, big bubble of the economy. So a lot of people that's buying the markets and investing right now, it's just not very smart. You know, it's not very smart fundamentally and technically, because I mean fundamentally, you know, where the stock price is so high and people are losing jobs. You know, how can they justify these stock prices? You did? So you know right there is Ponzi. I appreciate that, Neff. So, you know, so let's just stay conscious, family. And like I said, I'll be back Monday. It's between 7:30 and 8. I like to make sure the family get out of work, wind down before you join me in the garden, get this food for thought. And like I said, you're going to see a lot of things differently once that third eye opens up. And remember, I've talked about in my past videos about the chakras, about the energy systems, there's 7 of them. And that if right now, if you're here in the garden with me, your chakras are raising, you know, they're rising rather, and you're raising your consciousness. And so understanding that this money doesn't exist, understanding that your health is your wealth, and then understanding there's a difference between real news and fake news. All right, we got the real actors and the fake actors. What's going on politically right now, that's just fake. What's going on economically right now is fake, because there's so many people are hurting right now. All right, so family, make sure you join me in the garden on Monday. And like I say, Typo, Tisha's Voyage, KY LaPimp, Jasmine, who me. Family, thanks for joining me in the garden. And in the meantime, between time, may the Most High inside to bring you joy, and being with is 95,000.